Well, China looks set to relax rules on international flights. Now, there are said to be plans to allow airlines to apply for green channels, which would allow them to fly into mainland airports. COVID-19 has meant international airlines have only been allowed to fly one route into China per week. 8 countries are reportedly on the green list, including Singapore and Japan, but not the United States. There are millions of Chinese citizens stranded overseas because of the pandemic, and they've been criticizing China's aviation regulator online for a lack of flights to bring them home. Lynette Lim joins us from Beijing right now. So, Lynette, what can we expect from this easing of measures then?
Well, Glenda, there are 2 parts to this. One is that there's been a policy known as the 5-1 policy, with the outbreak of COVID-19. The 5-1s refer to essentially one carrier per country going on one flight route, operating one flight a day. Now, there's talk that this 5-1 policy could be eased, and that means that there could be more than one flight route issued, or there could be more flights added per week to a single flight route. Now, the other part of it is what you address about setting up a fast-track green channel for certain airlines from certain countries that can then charter international flights into the mainland airports. Now, these countries are Japan, South Korea, Singapore, Germany, the UK, France, Switzerland, and Italy. Now, we know that the US is not on this list. The air regulator did not give any reasons for why these 8 countries were chosen and why certain countries were left out. We do know also, as Simon Marks alluded earlier, the US government has accused China of making it impossible for US airlines to resume flight service to China, even as the Chinese airlines have continued flights during the COVID-19 pandemic.
Lynette, what are some of the considerations that went into the new initiatives?
Well, we're in the midst of the annual political season right now, the annual parliamentary meetings, and that is one consideration. During this time, nothing can go wrong, security is tight, and therefore no big moves are made in terms of rules and regulations. So with the closing of these meetings expected on Thursday, we could see the timing, the window for these new rules to be enacted. Another part of it is that China has been facing immense pressure from its domestic constituents. Number one on the priority is overseas students and their families. Overseas students number about 1.4 million as of April this year. And these people, especially the cohort that's graduating and having their visas expire or run out, they're desperate to return home to find jobs. They're desperate to return home to China also because they have no means of sustaining themselves for a prolonged period overseas. Now, these people have been lobbying the government for more flights because currently with the flight schedule right now, flights are out of their reach as the ticket prices are simply too exorbitant. Now, another source of pressure comes from foreign companies and the pressure for local jobs to resume and local production to resume. So many key foreign executives that are being stuck or stranded outside China, they're needed to reopen businesses and they're needed in key areas. For example, specialized workers making things like electric car batteries. Without them, the restarting of the economy in China cannot resume 100%. So these are some of the key considerations, and we also know China, like many countries, are on guard to balance between reopening and restarting the economy and guarding against imported COVID-19 cases and a second wave of outbreaks.
Okay, many thanks for that update. Lynette Lim speaking to us from Beijing.